Previously on Ninjago.
Pixel and Skylers, but they are gonna be somewhat important. So I took some inspiration from the Anaconda cultists. The villain group is gonna be a group that worships time. Lego hates Nia sets. Nia hasn't gotten her own set since 2023. What even was the set that she got in 2023, you may ask? The Evo Dragon. One water vehicle ever. Granted, it was the Water Strider. She's also never gotten a car, transforming Nia's Wavemobile for $55 with Chrono Nia, Chrono Kai, Skylar, a Subar Samurai, and a Kabuki Thug. Hey guys. When building the car, all of the pieces that I had built previously, the jet, the mech, and the spoilers, had to fit within the build. The car would essentially function as a glorified frame. I'm already thinking about specific parts that I have in those colors that are very specific and specialized that I can use. I first had to somehow come up with a frame. I promptly took inspiration from pre-existing Ninjago cars. The Ninja Nightcrawler especially was a huge inspiration. Also, as the 15th anniversary of Ninjago, I did want this set to be a celebration of Ninjago cars. The X1 Ninja Charger, the legacy version, the first one, it's sad that I have to specify that. One of the big inspirations for the frame of the front, I used these T-pieces that were in the front of that set. They allowed me to keep this stable while also allowing me to integrate these spring-loaded shooter cannons. And I didn't really record a lot of footage while I was making it, but of course I do remember the building process. And one of the things that took me the longest to make were the side panels. I got to use 6 gunmetal gray Star Wars blasters, and on this side at least I got to use a dark azure piece right here, but on the other side I didn't quite have enough. So one of the first things I did was build a support frame for the fuselage. Technic bricks would end up going over those. And as you can see, I used a lot of snot building on this model. This support panel actually showcases one of the really unique shaping quirks. Honestly, unknowingly, I made the front wider than the back. You'd expect the back to be somewhat bulky, and then it would taper into the front section, which would be slightly thinner. Now we attach this section to the rest of the car. Of course, always remember to use lots of brackets and snot techniques to keep your build strong. These giant gunmetal gray turbines really help accentuate the water theme I was going for, along with these Batman symbols on the side, which do look kind of weird, but once you mesh them with the rest of the armor plating, they don't stand out much as Batman symbols. This is also the area of the model with the highest concentration of gunmetal gray. I also place a little bit of greebling here right beneath where the wheel attaches, which is completely covered up by this giant cannon. I also had to throw in these golden trident pieces somewhere, and I figured this was the perfect spot. You do see a lot of vacant Technic beams here, and I do wish I could have put some accessories here, but ultimately there wasn't really much space underneath the hood, and I figured there was more important stuff to figure out on this thing anyway. Also, these caution stripes I really am a big fan of. And now we attach the hood. I wanted the bumper to look very aggressive on this model, and I think I succeeded very much on that front. And as for the Imperial logos here, you can just imagine them as the symbol on the back of Wu's torso. While the back is incredibly bland, I did pull some inspiration from the OG Thunder Raider and its legacy version. I also added clips for weapons and this exhaust pipe, an obligatory feature of any vehicle I make. This does fit the cannon, and it's meant to go like this. Nia's swords and spear can therefore be attached not only to the mech but also to the back of the car. These yellow clips gave me a lot of trouble. I originally had 2 of these open hinge pieces, which would make it very easy to remove, but the mech kept falling off. 2 bar pieces would make it far too strong, and the back of the mech just kept coming off. And even though this arrangement is still not perfect and this bar piece does catch on the clips, it's still a lot better than including 2 of either of these pieces. I built 2 wheel covers that utilize more 2x2 translucent dark blue bricks. I also did something similar for the front. They're attached to this assembly here made using a battle droid arm, which will serve as a harness for the mech. Oh yeah, there's also this sticker right here. Now we're going to use these 4 pieces right here, and they will become the car spoilers. And if we pull it down, you'll see I have a little bit of gold. And once we add these flame pieces to the back of the car, as well as load these spring-loaded shooters, consider the core of the model just about done. I'm going to put the submodels back on, and I'm going to show you the transformation. The minifigure also doesn't need a pillow and a blanket to sit inside the cockpit. So here is the fully finished Wavemobile. We have these two spring-loaded shooters which can be launched forward. I integrated this black stripe into the design so that these black Technic beams, which absolutely do not exist in Dark Azure as far as I'm aware, end up blending pretty well into the model. So first let's remove the mech. We can open this whole panel up. Fold it all the way back out, and here's the finished mech. Now you can also pull out the weapons and accessories. And now let's pull off the jet, which is a little bit of a more involved process. So first you lift up the hood and flip the bumper out. I just think that looked cool. Now you flip up this little section right here, and then you pop the jet right off, or at least the fuselage. Then the next thing you do is pull out the spoilers. And you attach them to the fuselage. And our submodels are fully finished. Now that the car is ready, we need someone to help the Subaru Warrior counter it. So we're gonna have this Subaru Samurai. We're gonna give him this weapon build. This piece that is meant to represent his modified Borg Watch Model 7. This is a printed compass piece that I got from Ninjago City Gardens, so technically it's not a modified Borg Watch Model 7. Here I built this giant and very solid base for the Wavemobile. I'm just gonna let the footage speak for itself because there are a lot of little details and I'd be spending a lot of time talking about them. You know, to design this thing, I was kind of inspired by the blacksmith shop, which when I was making this had kind of just come out. I'm honestly really proud of how this turned out. I think I captured that terrain style that the blacksmith shop uses so prominently, especially having all these snap pieces. It's very natural, and I think I especially succeeded in interweaving rock and sand on the front. A claw from a Kabuki Thug, which was originally a minifigure I was going to include in the set, but since I make the rules and you can't do anything about it, I switched it to a different minifigure, and now this is a little Easter egg. Behind this other stick of bamboo that I just removed, a couple of trans red pieces, this sticker which is an Easter egg, and you can see this giant assembly which is meant to hold the water essence. I can throw it right here. Speaking of placing, we can now place all the minifigures and the vehicle here. But before that, I do want to show you the last minifigure I created for this set. This is an exclusive Skylar variant. It doesn't look much like her because I don't have any Skylar minifigures, but I'd say it works, and I think it's a pretty unique take on the character. You have this orange visor and a half mask. Then you can place the hair piece, which is the wrong color, but I don't have a pure red one. This torso is from Echo from the Bad Batch with dark red arms, medium nougat hands, Aaron's legs from Dragon's Rising Season 3, and this orange Batman utility belt, which came in the Scoobat suit from the Lego Batman movie Batcave. Her accessories are just silver shurikens, so we can pose her up and throw her on top of this little rock. That's about everything for today, so thanks so much for watching. Please share this video with a friend if you found it good enough to do so, and check out the instructions that I'll probably be posting out on Rebrickable at the end of the year together with all of the other ones for these Ninjago Chrono-Dive models. And this has been Ninjago Chrono-Dive Part 5, focusing on Nia's Wavemobile, a $55 set that comes with 5 minifigures and looks like this. Bye, guys.